How to make French Tarte Tatin. Tarte Tatin is a classic French dessert that is both delicious and surprisingly easy to make. This decadent dessert is made with caramelized apples that are baked into a buttery pastry crust. To make Tarte Tatin, you will need the following ingredients: 6 to 8 apples, preferably Granny Smith. Half cup unsalted butter. Half cup granulated sugar. 1 sheet of puff pastry dough. Powdered sugar for dusting. Step 1. Preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, 190 degrees Celsius. Step 2. Peel and core your apples, then cut them into quarters. Step 3. Melt the butter in a 10-inch cast iron skillet over medium heat. Add the sugar and cook until it turns a light caramel color. Step 4. Add the apples to the skillet, arranging them in a circular pattern. Cook the apples for about 10 minutes, or until they are slightly softened and caramelized. Step 5. While the apples are cooking, roll out your puff pastry dough to fit the size of the skillet. Place the dough over the apples, tucking in the edges around the sides of the skillet. Step 6. Bake the Tarte Tatin in the preheated oven for 25 to 30 minutes, or until the pastry is golden brown. Step 7. Remove the skillet from the oven and let it cool for a few minutes. Place a large plate over the skillet, then carefully flip the skillet over to release the Tarte Tatin onto the plat. Step 8. Dust the Tarte Tatin with powdered sugar and serve warm with a dollop of whipped cream or vanilla ice cream. Making Tarte Tatin is a simple process, but it requires patience and attention to detail. The key to a successful Tarte Tatin is to caramelize the apples slowly and evenly, and to make sure. When selecting apples for your Tarte Tatin, it's important to choose a variety that will hold its shape and not turn to mush during the cooking process. Granny Smith apples are a popular choice. To make the caramel for your Tarte Tatin, it's important to cook the sugar and butter until it turns a light golden color. Be sure to stir the mixture constantly to prevent burning. When arranging the apples in the skillet, it's important to pack them tightly together to prevent gaps and ensure even cooking. You can also add spices like cinnamon or nutmeg to the apples. Puff pastry dough is the traditional pastry used for Tarte Tatin, but you can also use pie dough or even homemade pastry if you prefer. To flip the Tarte Tatin onto a plate, it's important to use a plate that is larger than the skillet and to flip the skillet quickly and confidently to prevent the apples from sticking. Tarte Tatin can be served warm or at room temperature, and can be topped with whipped cream, ice cream, or caramel sauce for added decadence. To add a twist to your Tarte Tatin, you can experiment with different types of fruit, such as pears, peaches, or plums. You can also add nuts, like almonds or pecans, to the caramel for Ada.